is Paul. Yeah, I'm just reading this dictionary. Yes, they have what's called to growl, to utter deep, guttural, threatening sounds. Yes, yes. And then there's what's called gruesome, causing horror or fright. Yeah. Over the last 6 years, it seemed to me that when I got to Clallam County, somebody was trying to frighten all the citizens as if the monsters were going to take over the whole United States. Now, I was staying at a fifth wheel, and quite often some old witch or vampire or sorcerer, or those that were on the evil side, were using technology to cause all kinds of fear in the minds of the population so as to make everybody afraid. Poop. Are there some dogs that need to growl today? Now, as an American citizen, I don't usually growl because I'm not a dog. I'm not a fish. I don't have a lizard in my ass. Now, I just wanted to know, is it possible to find out if any sort of being within the population, when angry, actually growls as if they were a dog? I'd like to know all of those different beings that thought that the way we were going to go was to frighten the shit out of the whole population so that people would be scared to go out of their houses, because during the virtualization, somebody had been using some brain filters of some very evil things. Now, as a man, I know that I have the right to enjoy my life. Pooch. In fact, there's a law that says that if more than two persons conspire to deprive me of my enjoyment of life, I have the right to sue them and have them put in prison. Pooch! It's called a hate crime. Now, 5 years ago, when I was living in the fifth wheel, it seemed like the monsters were going to take over the minds of the population and cause everybody to be frightened so that they would be scared when it got dark out. But as I understand it, I have the right to enjoy being an American citizen without any fear that anybody's going to get me, boogeyman. Now, as I mentioned, Pooch, using brain filters of those that have been radiated, those that thought, well, I just need to suck the blood of the population. Oh, those that had lizards in their asses or used the minds of lizards, large mutations, to cause everybody to be scared that if I go out at night, I'm going to get arrested and a monster's going to get me. The problem with that whole thought of destroying the enjoyment of being an American citizen is there really isn't any monsters, Pooch. I had grown up, well, with the knowledge that Frankenstein not really real, Pooch. I know those that have been wolfed. Oh, let's see how many growl. Pa-pow, pa-pow. I know the use of technology in the bodies of fish that thought, I'm going to load myself with as much evil as possible, and then I'm going to cause fear in the minds of those that are citizens. I know some big dogs that thought, well, we'll just dog the population, and we'll cause every man and woman to growl every time they're afraid, and then we'll use technology to scare everyone so as to be afraid when it's dark outside. Now, as I understand hate crimes, the use of technology to cause fear in the minds of the population because a big dog was is that right, was the chief of police, because the ha ha ha, I know the monsters, was using technology sewn into the minds that are mutated so as to cause everybody to be afraid. When you use technology to cause fear in the minds of citizens, that violates innumerable numbers of laws. Pooch. And as that American citizen, every time we find a telegraph system that caused the population to be afraid of the dark. As I remember it, lots of people thought we were going the way of the witch. But as a man, I know monsters aren't real. So when you tried to make me afraid, I wasn't afraid because I'm an adult grown up. Now give me all the monster brains and those that have been used to cause fear in the minds of citizens, then find out what they know in law enforcement. Because your use of technology to cause people to be afraid is definitely against the law. Growl, some dogs.